Oh man, what's up everybody, man? I was gonna do this video like a couple weeks ago, but I kind of let it build and it kind of let me see what the anti Sysbm dudes were saying and what everybody else out here was saying about everything. And I came to the conclusion and basically want to make this video responding to all of the things I heard from the O'Shea stuff, from the black male media furs, from the Obsidian stuff, and all the stuff that I heard over the past couple of weeks when I wanted to make this video before. So let me go to the main thing, right? Let me talk about C Boogie, right? C Boogie is the same dude who slept with people's girlfriends and wives, but want to act like he's some type of like he should be somebody to look up to. And it's the same thing in this ARC dude. I mean, who would pay attention to somebody who didn't have morals and respect for other men? And when he was on that panel with Reg the Bad Guy, and I'll talk about that when Superslide came in, how dishonest this dude was, because everywhere I'm seeing him pop up in the Beam One network when he talk about men, and it's like it's shaming them and telling them that they don't know what they're doing. I mean, the funny thing is that when he was talking and Brian was coming at him, telling him like, okay, if it's so many good women out there, why have you married one? Why you not in a relationship with one? And he was quiet. And when Brian was actually like grilling him, he was getting offended. But one thing that he exposed himself being is a matriarchal mindset drone. Something that he said he wasn't. So they went to the fact that he don't like meeting other races of women's dads, because they grill him and they test him out and they vet him, and he don't want to deal with that kind of crap, because I don't want to curse a lot. So it was funny to me when he said this kind of when he I'm about to do it again. Okay, I'll let a couple things out. Hopefully that don't get it down, whatever. But when he kind of said that bullshit where he said, I don't want to deal with the kind of stuff when I meet the dad. The minute I said in the chat, okay, this is Mr. Self-Improvement. You don't want to prove yourself to the father of the woman that you want to marry or you want to meet, because he's another race, and you don't want to man up and prove your worth to this man because that's her father. So you don't like a patriarchy, you like a matriarchy, because most of the women that you mess with, they're never gonna bring you to their family. So you playing both sides of the fence by actually giving women what they want, and you know that they using other men, but you just sitting there laughing. Then you come online telling guys that they don't know what they talking about. It's not that easy getting another race of women and this and that. I've been to Texas and blah blah blah. And when he's told the story about him getting a gun pulled out on him, he never told this story about that. And I asked him, I went in the chat and I was like, wait, why don't you learn Spanish? This is Mr. Self-Improvement. And now I know he's just full of crap, but I've been called him out a year ago. You're too lazy. You say you've been into all these places and you act like you're the standard of all this kind of stuff, but you don't even speak Spanish. You don't even try to speak another language. You just go at the surface level women who go after you for the surface level shit, but you never digged into the culture enough to actually tell people know what you're talking about. And then let's move on to Superslide. He came up with this whole analogy of, yeah, they closing down Dominican Republic place because they tired of dealing with black men and black men going down there messing it up. And then the guy from Dominican Republic, the guy that visited Dominican Republic told the story about how it's a mayor in that area closed it down, and everybody's mad at her because she thinks that by closing them down it's going to make better families. But now people are suffering from the fact that they don't got tourist money to live on, and she's not building the mayor in that area is not building no new jobs. So pretty much the mayor destroyed that whole part of that town because she thinks it was wrong to have those places there. It wasn't because of no black dollars. It's because she was a female. And Superslide never brought it up again when he was wrong. And I know he's full of shit too. So him and Reg was going on back and forth. And this is what I said, I'm not going to say nothing because I'm cool with Reg and I like his platform and I'll be in here sometimes in chat. But I didn't like the fact that when Superslide brung up the fact that these guys don't do this, these guys don't do that, and MOT pretty much destroyed his points, he brung Superslide on there just to make himself feel good. And this is Reg. He came on there to make himself feel good about, oh yeah, man, I don't think these guys went out. I don't think these guys did this. I don't think these guys did that. And I said in the chat that he don't never bring up, he don't never touch the screen. I said, what are you talking about? There's guys out here that guys right here that went through state to state, and they still couldn't find what they wanted because it's the fucking programming that these women are about. If they're so good women, and I didn't want to say nothing like that, dude, because Reg like to block people because they give him his opinion, and they sometimes they give his opinion, and he feel like, okay, I can block you off my stuff, and then he brings you back after a while. And that's the reason why a lot of people stop frequently going in his chats and stop going in his stuff, because he kind of fickle with that kind of stuff. He blocked AJ for sleeping on a chat, but bringing the needy for doing the things she did. Then you had Raining Woman as a mod. Then she cursed me out for no reason, and then you let her back in after she called you idiots and stuff. And then you kept saying that you don't have women on the panels, but then you got women as mods. And it's kind of backwards in my opinion, but the fact is that's his platform. He can do what he wants. But one thing I didn't like what he did with Superslide is when he was talking, he acting like these dudes haven't been all over the country, and acting like these dudes are lazy and they didn't want to try to talk to people. But this has come from a guy like Superslide who's a side dude, and he benefits off of other people. But you're married, but you're sleeping around because your wife's not giving you anything, but you want other guys to pick up the slack for what you are doing and get with one of these women that you have as side chicks. And for some reason you think it's okay, and Reg and him think it's okay. But the main point I'm trying to say is that this dude said something like, if they didn't have the internet to vent on, they will already hang themselves. And then Reg started laughing and giggling, and I'm like, what? Are you serious? Are you making fun? Are you laughing at people committing suicide? Because it's more than women that make somebody does that. Sometimes women are the cause of that. And I think for me, it seems like Reg for me is a flip-flopper, because I said that on his first page about how women will cause a guy to do something like that to themselves if they dealing with the wrong woman. And then he comes online and he comes on another chat on another thing and said these sisters are doing this and this and this and all this other stuff. And then when Superslide and Boogie come on, he says another opinion. And then when MOT comes on, he says another opinion. And MOT called them out on Gamechanger and said that exact thing. Like, he changed his opinion based off who's on the panel. That's why they go on his panel, so they can have an argument on the platform, but they never go on other people's platform because they know they'll lose and somebody will challenge them. I just didn't like that. So to me, it seemed like these dudes want you to play their game so they can be in side dude heaven and be able to get as many women as they want behind the scenes and benefit off of other people's work. to me that these guys, most of these dudes are going against Sysbm. You already did a lot to make men not want to get married, not trust these women, not actually want to talk to them, not want to be around them, and even quite frankly get a sex doll and be done with the whole thing, because a sex doll won't cheat. You guys been in this all of this dysfunctional behavior, and you think that it was gonna go on forever. And these dudes who wear their side dude badges, and now they trying to hide and act like they care for people. You didn't care about another man when you was banging his wife or his girlfriend. So why do you care if another man goes to another country and fails? And then you keep questioning because you can't fathom the fact that you might lose to a guy you think is below you. So and let me go to this other thing with Gamechanger. Not him per se, his panel, and last night with these two, fake intellectual pookies that came on there, and one dude, I think his name is what? Damn, man. I gotta remember, it was just last night. Shit. Did I save it? Or is it going? I'm gonna look for it. This dude kept saying that he was Sysbm before it was Sysbm. But, he didn't know what Sysbm was. And he just kept demoralizing it and thinking that he was doing it before they was doing it. Because one of the things is that you go get with another race if you're not happy with your own. Okay, here we go. This dude named Kane was saying this crap. Oh man, I don't know what's wrong with these. They're like that everywhere. I've been doing this ever since 1995. Okay, why are you in this space then? If you are a master, you should have built your own platform and then said, I've been Sysbm before that, and then build your own platform up. But you going in the space and trying to complain to guys that don't want to hear this. And we're not talking about guys in the middle. We talking about guys coming before us. There's a younger generation of dudes that we have to pass this message on to so they can be saved from the crap that we had to deal with. But this dude was making it about himself. And then this other guy, let me check. Benny Crane was kind of like thinking that dudes are unintelligent, but he was sounding unintelligent by the minute. First of all, how can you tell guys about anything when you can't even have a proper conversation? That whole conversation on Gamechanger, on the title called Know Your Worth, if you want to listen to it. It was a circular conversation that was going back over and over for like almost 3 hours. And I would literally just pause the video, do something else, or watch another video, and then they would talk about the same thing. And Gamechanger pointed out what Kane was doing when he says, yeah, I was Sysbm before that. These dudes, but I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to offend, but these dudes, and this, and these dudes, and I was Sysbm, but I don't know what it is. And it was just nauseating, and it hurt my head. I was like, these dudes are annoying. And then I have to call it out like I see it, man. The dude Ben De Silva, or whatever his name is, I think he's an agent of chaos for Sysbm. And I hope y'all actually pay attention to this guy. And I hope y'all point it out, because it was some stuff that he said on Mr. Fantastic panel that really exposed this dude, that he was going to take somebody out because if his baby mom is dealing with a guy and they gotta go to him and he's the Mr. Boss, and then him and he didn't go on Mr. Fantastic panel like that anymore. I don't think so, because I ain't seen him on there. This dude Ben, the Civil, whatever his name is, he was in the chat on O'Shea when O'Shea was going in on Sysbm, and he was going back and forth with a known person who gets with a ghetto person like Rue Demp, and he was going flirting with her in the chats. And I'm starting to see that these dudes are flirting back and forth with these chicks, but these dudes supposed to have so much experience with women. And these guys are so thirsty for the chick Jessica, because you seen what I said to Jessica. And for some reason I got some flack for it. But these dudes say they have experience with women, but it don't show it. And then Mr. Fantastic had the women on his platform yesterday of the guy Marco, who brung them on so they could ask some questions, see if the similarities fit. And then Beth comes out, somebody who can't take criticism, block me, and comes up and said, well, why you guys will go to another country for a black woman when black women are over here? And it's the same shit. And when they start to grill her, she act like her internet was going out. And I'm like, you are a example of what the women are, the prototype of what the women are over here. The women on here online. And then Gamechanger really called her out and said, hey, if you can find a good woman over here to be friends with, and she can do, like, if you could find one good one, I will cancel my trip to Colombia to go with Marco and hang out with him. And he basically said, you can't even find good women for your brother or for any other black man. You can't even point them out, but you trying to say, telling other black men what to do. Just like these dudes who, like Top Cats and Georgia Boy and all these other people, they can't. And it's also C Boogie too, Mr. Self-Improvement. These guys can't come up with no good looking black women for them to show to black men, because if these guys take the bait of getting with these women that these dudes suggest and it doesn't work out, it's going to reflect bad on them. See Boogie also, let me go back to the Reg one before I go back to the Gamechanger Live. See Boogie was getting grilled by Brianxx, and he was like, okay, then why don't you hook them up? Why don't you hook brothers up? Oh, they need to pay me. And then he said, oh, if he does pay him, if they do pay you, then okay, what's the problem? Where are these good women at that you keep saying? And Brian was telling him that he lived in Atlanta, and that he kept trying to tell him what to do when he don't live in Atlanta. And he like, I see them all the time. And they keep saying this, and then going back. Let me go back to the one where Beth said. She said she's seen a whole bunch of good women. And Gamechanger called it out and said, if there's so many good women, why these guys are leaving? And mind you, this Beth chick is the same chick who can't even get a man. Then she exposed herself about not having sex, but the fact is having sex through the anal. She exposed herself, and she just keep lying, and they building up. And then she tries to sit back and joke, and she's like the most boringest, driest person I ever met as a female on this chat, on this platform. And there's tons of people on here that I don't like. But she is full of herself. Why would you come out your mouth and say something like this when you are a main example of what's over here? You can't even find a good man to settle down with because you're so picky. But you want guys to sit here and do what you say. And I'm not going to get into that. But there's a lot of like stuff that I've seen. And there was a fight, a tuss-up with Black Male Media first that I listened to. He got good content. And O'Shea. And O'Shea was trying to sit back and tell guys, mad bus driver shaming Sysbm and saying we don't have money and what's a call and blah blah blah. Oh, my fault, not me. I'm just so used to that. they were saying about Sysbm of people who follow it or pretty much like it, that we the people who believe in it is broke. We're not supporting them. And I'm sitting myself and all these people in the chat like, yeah, they're broke, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute. We got one person in the chat. We got one person like MOT who support Sysbm. He's not broke. And then the people who made it, when Mad Bus Driver made it a point of, hey man, I don't need people to give me money online. If they want to support, they can support. And then when he made that chat and people started giving him money left and right, then it showed that they wasn't cheap and they wasn't stingy or whatever or broke. And what O'Shea was saying, he didn't make no kind of rebuttal and retraction to say, okay, I was wrong about y'all. But he just made it about money and talking about how they don't support this and this and that. And then he went at the Black Male Media First, and Black Male Media First was actually put on there, and it's like all these insults. And then and people was calling O'Shea out like, dude, you're telling black men what to do, black this, black that, but you didn't go to a HBCU to get your med school degree and then stay in America. You didn't get with a black woman. You don't even have a girlfriend or a wife. You know how bad it is out here, but you're trying to throw up smoke screens for these women because they're your main supporters. And it's disingenuous. And the Black Male Media First dude was actually making a point about it. Like, hey man, you making fun of people that's giving you money. And I think, and let me also call a guy out that I took up for, and this is this Fall in Love in Brazil guy. I think that he liked this abuse that he goes on platform when people call him a simp. Cause I told him, I said, dude, you just need to go on your own platform and just do your thing. Why are you in here taking all this criticism from these people and they calling you all types of names? I didn't like the fact that they was talking about him on Gamechangers Live and be like, yeah, he's creepy and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, wait a minute. You let a chick from the UK come in a black space and give her opinion out. But then y'all turn around and talk about Babatunde because he's not from America. He don't have no experience. You call him out, but you don't call Jessica out when she shouldn't be even saying anything about America because she don't live here. But then you didn't bring that same kind of vitriol that you had for Babatunde to this British chick because y'all like her and y'all like her avatar. I'm going to tell you this right now, right? These women are full of shit. You can type up Tiny Chat on YouTube and find out all these women were showing themselves. These women don't respect anyone in the black manosphere. This is why they don't show their face. Because when I was on Tiny Chat, the women would cam up right away. If they had respect for the chat, if they had respect for the people who run that joint, and somebody asked them to do a 360 turn around, they would do it. They would show themselves because they have respect for the people that made that channel, that made that room. That's what they call it in Tiny Chat. Nobody was stingy with their looks. Even if a chick was ugly, she would cam up. But these chicks come into space and they just disrespect you and you tell them to cam up, cam up, cam. Dude, y'all sound weak to me sometimes. It's like they don't want to cam up, but you don't want to kick them out of the space. I have seen women come into space back in 2018 that's not in here in 2020, who was all types of shit in the chat and they got what they wanted and they dipped. When people stopped paying attention, they dipped. And y'all just keep letting these females come into space and disrespect y'all by not camming up. And y'all keep giving these women a voice and a platform. I don't have no problem with Gamechanger. But at the same time, it seemed like he's kind of too lenient with these women. Jessica X is the same chick who said he was socially awkward, and then try to check him and say, "Well, if you got a girlfriend, mainly if Gamechanger got a girlfriend, anyone can get a girlfriend." But she said it like, "Oh, anybody can get a girlfriend," and I like, "Oh wow, you let her say that to you?" And then when she came in the chat and she got offended, it was like, oh, it was a disagreement, and she back on your platform. Hey, it's not my platform. I'm just a person in the chat. But come on, man. Like, it's the same thing with Obsidian, where he let all these women disrespect him over and over and over and over and over again, and let him back on his platform. And then he keep going back and forth with them task people. And then he brought up this point of the barbecue. This dude, I think this dude has issues of wanting validation from people, because I'm not going to go to a place just to talk about it or just to say I was there, or go back and forth with people who don't like me in the first place. And he's stuck in his mindset that it's sad to me that you keep trying to cover it up with some kind of intellectual back and forth, when you can have conversations with, if you're smart enough, you can have conversations with people for 3 times and know who they are and be done with them. And he keeps going back and forth with Taz, going on their platform and talking back and forth, and it's the same shit over and over and over again, and it's getting annoying. And then he want black men who obviously don't want to be around dysfunctional people to go to a cookout just to say that these dysfunctional people and talk about the experience. And then he thought that he was going to milk the Sysbm, the confusion, or no, the disagreement, and he literally got kicked off at Sysbm. And he wants Mad Bus Driver to come on his page and talk back and forth and all that. And this dude don't even have kids. He want people to bring their kids around dysfunction. Kid, you don't have experience with kids and you don't have kids, but you want them to bring around dysfunction because, oh, I'm going to go to a black event and I'm going to go to a black barbecue because Obsidian said I have to be socially with my family. I don't want to leave. These guys told them that they don't give 2 shits about what other men are doing. That's not them. And he's kept bringing it up. Hey man, but. And it's like he just keep trying to have conversations just to get money, because it's not genuine of the stuff that Obsidian does. He does it for views and money. And then he try to shame guys into having a debate with him so he can get more money from that whole thing. I call it out. Sean James literally put himself in a super hole by going at passport guys. And he even nobody even paying attention to him like that no more. He don't even get the views that he used to. You got 11,000 subscribers and you barely break 5,000 views. You're irrelevant at this point now. That's kind of like an anime channel that I know of who got 5,000 subscribers and can barely get 10,000 views. That's bad. And you got views based off the fact that people not taking their subscribership back because they just don't watch you. But Obsidian throws a lot of people under the bus. He had a back and forth with the Goon, and they're going on him with like his talking points, but he can't mess with him like that no more. Then he tried to throw MGTOW people under the bus because it doesn't have data. There's tons of things out here that don't have data, but it doesn't make it. They don't have to prove to you that it doesn't exist. But the fact is, this guy is just sitting here just show me that MGTOW guys are. And he don't get the fact that he's taking up for the women that he talk about. He like, hey man, single women got houses more than these MGTOW guys. But this comes from a guy who's renting an apartment, so he shouldn't even be talking about nothing. And people forgot about what that studio looked like. It was trash, but he wants to keep bringing up all these different irrelevant talk about, oh, you're not socially inept. Who goes to an event just to say how bad it was? They're not you. They don't have no financial benefit to go to an event that they don't want to. They just say they social. To go online and tell people about, I went to the trip here. I went to brunch with my lady friend. And it seemed like it makes him look like he got a small man complex. And He has some good points, and that's the reason why I listen to him about 20% of the time. But when I see certain things that he posts up and on here on YouTube, because mind you, also this is the same guy that was rallying behind Black Avenger, and magically when Black Avenger didn't want to put screens on there where he could financially benefit, he disappeared and stopped talking about black male media. And he's talking about Muscular when most people are not even on Muscular. I mean, okay, let me get off that and get to this. That's all I wanted to say about all the stuff that I have. Now on to the topic that is gonna go on this right here, right? The guys that are against Sysbm are all guys who messed up relationship for other men. They benefited off of men who do work hard, who are disciplined, who do got their stuff together, who actually have a mind or work ethic to get themselves in a position. They just swoop around and don't have no morals or no standards for themselves, and they always grabbing somebody's steak off their plate and think the person is gonna keep taking that shit. You know, if somebody walks up to you and somebody goes into the restaurant that you in, and you eating food and you just got a rare steak, and they look at you and they say, oh, this guy's a loser, this guy's this, get this, I don't have respect for him. And he jumps on your food that you paid for and grabs your steak and says, thanks, bro. You really think that most men are going to let this dude go off on that? They're going to whip his ass, or they're going to take out a gun and they're going to shoot him. They paid for this food. But the drastic matter is that smarter men are gonna beat him up and find out where he live and beat him up on a later day. They're not gonna grab no gun and shoot him and do none of that crap. But they probably gonna whip his ass. This is what these guys has been doing for years. Taking people's steaks off their plate and laughing about it, and then go online bragging about it. I took this dude's steak that he paid for. He paid for that steak and it's mine now. I ate it. I ate the steak. I don't care. Because I'm the man. I'm this and I'm that. You think that all that bragging that you did, you think all that bragging you did made it easier for guys who was in the middle of a transition into their self-improvement and seeing just how dirty and stinky and disgusting these women are to guys that are nice and good and take care of them? You were a part of that problem. You're the reason why guys don't believe in marriage anymore. You're the reason why guys don't want to get married. You're the reason why guys don't want to touch any of these 4 or 5s or whatever you want to say. Because you gave these women an ego by giving them sex. You gave these women egos by giving them compliments because you didn't have no place to stay, and you decided to use a female who's ugly for money or a stepping stone, and then eventually this woman have an ego because now you're the pamphlet, that you're the plateau of what she wants in every single man, but she can't get that. So she thinks she too good for the men in her range. So staying in your lane, you just destroyed the lane. Getting married, you just destroyed marriage. I mean, I remember one video that is always in my mind that makes me, every time somebody talk about marriage, I kind of laugh and go refer to that video. It's a video that you have where it's a video where you have a adult entertainer. He answered a request to do a OnlyFans video because he got it in I think a category where he banged people's wives and girlfriends and stuff like that, and he just do it for fun. But he also do it as a message of like to other guys, like, don't get married to these women, they're useless. This guy pees in women's faces, stomp on them, and do all that crazy. He abuses them he abused them mostly, and they like it. And you can tell there's something mentally wrong with these women. But so a chick hit him up. It was like, my dream is to be with you. I watch you all the time. And he says, you single? She says, no, I'm married with 2 kids. Oh, word? Okay, I'm gonna have you in my video. Is that okay? And she said, okay, yeah, cool. It don't matter. Mind you, she doesn't care about her husband. It's her dream. She didn't go home and tell her husband that, hey, I did it with a porn star, so you get to go have your fun. I'm gonna pay for that, and you get to go somewhere and have your fun. She did it behind his back, because obviously he probably don't know. But while he was smashing her, he took it out and busted on the diamond ring. When I seen that, I said, that is a representation of what these women really think about marriage. And you wonder why guys don't want to get in relationships, don't want to married, and you wonder why guys are going overseas to get their women overseas. Because the fact is, if I get a woman overseas, I don't care if she sleeps with other guys and do anything, because I'm not there. I'm not there. I can care less. And I'm not giving her a whole bunch of money and doing all this other crazy stuff. Some women overseas are not like that over there. And the fact is, you have